Welcome, jabronis, to Riding the Pine, hosted by myself, Drew Backley, co-hosted by my brother, Jesse Backley, and our good buddy, Jake Black Velvet Hugendorn. And welcome back to Riding the Pine. It's week 8. With us today, we have my brother, Jesse Backley.
What up?
And the biggest fucking rat in the league, Kevin Anderson.
Sure, boy.
And also with us is our amazing producer, Joshua Craven, the bird.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
All right, go right into league news. So a Pittsburgh Penguins fan received a kidney following going to a game, and they were holding up a sign saying obviously they needed a kidney. A photo went viral, and obviously the Penguins retweeted the photo. So
Yeah, no, so I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this, because I thought when I saw it, it was pretty random and rare, and I guess,
amazing.
yeah, and just amazing that someone would even think to try to get a kidney at a hockey game, to even think of putting a sign out and at a hockey game, basically asking for anyone to go there to donate a kidney.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that it worked, but I think it's more amazing that someone saw the sign and reached out to them, either an organization or however it was. Just amazing that it happened. I'm not that surprised. If it was someone who like privately did it, who was like, hey, you know, I could lose a kidney for you, you know, out of the hockey community, I'm just not surprised that happened, just because the hockey people are pretty fucking amazing.
I guess that's the point of this whole story.
Right.
Is you can literally go to a goddamn random game, ask for a kidney, and someone who likes the same sport as you will reach out to you.
And probably save your life.
Yes.
Essentially, someone's life got saved because those, from everything that I've heard, you know, I don't do any fucking research, but from everything I've heard, those waiting lists take forever, and you could possibly die during that time.
The funny thing is all right, so this story, they met.
That's just close to home for us because we both have one kidney.
Yeah. But they met, they've only have known each other for 3 months. And the person who actually signed up from the Pittsburgh fan, who I believe is, let's shout out his name,
Kelly
Butt Lind. No, so Kelly Sawatsky is the one who needed a kidney. Butt Lind is a guy who reached out to her.
His name is Butt.
It really, no, it's not Jeff.
Almost positive it's Jeff.
Go, look it up.
Anyways,
Butt Lind.
it would just be funny if his name was Butt, though. Anyways, a great guy, apparently.
Yeah.
Comes out and gives someone their fucking kidney. That's amazing.
Yeah. And basically her first kidney transplant donor that's not the fucking dude, Kevin. Okay. Holy fuck. If you only saw what Kevin just showed me.
Porn.
It basically.
Okay.
Real old porn.
Jeez.
But, so, Jesus Christ. So her first transplant, kidney donor, wasn't a Pittsburgh fan at all, and it was on the list, and it got denied for, I believe, some blood type stuff. But it's funny that this guy signed up to be your kidney transplant after the sign at the hockey game, and then even then, after he went he talked to her, he gave her the information. He did all the prereqs to do the kidney transplant. He wasn't even the first person to be in line. And then after that, the person who was first to be in line to be the donor got denied. He actually he came through.
Wow.
So it's kind of luck that it turned out in the way that it did. That a Pittsburgh fan actually saved another Pittsburgh fan.
That's fucking amazing.
But
just as a human story, that's
yeah,
just
it's just a
incredible.
very cool story that a guy fucking. I don't know. When I read it, I just thought that was fucking awesome that a sport, just reaching out to other people in the community through a sport could do something that meaningful.
Yeah. And again, and I said I wasn't surprised. I just meant that being a good thing for the hockey community.
Neither am I. I mean, I
just
think hockey players and hockey fans or
hockey people are just
a lot
class
of them
acts.
Yeah, a lot of them are, and they when it's time to dig deep, they do.
Yeah. Well, obviously that fucking guy did.
That's one dug deep.
Dug about as deep as you can get.
Yeah, But I guess the other question is, would you, if you, I don't know. I'm trying to think. The same.
If my
circumstance-
life was on the line, would I put my phone number on a sign?
Not life on the line, because, like you said, me and you already have one kidney, and
That's true.
I don't know
But
exactly. To be honest, I bet her life was on the line. 'Cause that's why she's
I think
asking.
it has. I think it would have to be.
So do I.
I could put my number on a sign and say I want a kidney and just
What,
sell it on the black market.
Oh my god. But
I kind of figured
Wanna
that was
do it.
coming as soon as he chimed
I
in.
just think that's also bravery on her part. Like, everyone thinks it's so easy because she's desperate, but like, you're still giving your number out to 20,000 people
Right.
who could they could just mock you. They could do whatever. They could
She
troll
hot?
you. If you have Kevin over here, who the fuck knows what he's gonna call you about?
Right. Oh yeah. No, Kevin would prank call her.
What would you say, Kevin?
No, hold on. Kevin would prank call her and pretend like he's going to give her his kidney.
Yeah.
And then just prank her. And then go home laughing about
Do
it.
we have her number?
He'd
We could
probably
call her
lie about
live.
like his blood type, like, oh, are you type like
Oh,
or
yeah.
like whatever it is to match up with my. Yeah, I'm absolutely that type.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I'm going to save your life.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I would never do that because I'm from the trailer park, so you're both wrong.
Why does that matter?
Why does what? That I'm from the trailer park?
Why does your economic status have to do with your decision making?
Yes.
Because I'm from the trailer park, so I'm not giving anything up, not even if it's a kidney.
All right.
Not for free.
It says that Lind and Sawatsky, the not victim, what is she?
Kelly Sawatsky is the person who, not the victim, but that's the person who needs a kidney. She's not a victim.
Right. No.
She's
they
a
were-
victim of a shitty kidney.
She's the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both
Recipient.
They were
Donee.
both teacher recipient. That's what I'm. That's the
Donee.
word I'm looking for.
No.
Okay. Go.
They were both teachers, and that's all I got.
What he was trying to say is they're both teachers, and that's kind of a coincidental fact. Is they were. I believe they both taught
Are you showing him more pictures?
elementary.
Oh.
I'm showing him facts about the story. Like
Oh.
she named him Sidney the Kidney after Sidney Crosby.
You got to talk into the mic.
All that.
I just wanted to say that they were both teachers, and she ended up naming her kidney Sidney the Kidney after Sidney Crosby, and coincidentally, they put her in room 87 twice in the hospital in an article I had read.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty cool. I mean, I hate Sid the Kid, but that's cool. You want to move right into the YouTube goalie? Trav for Oilers. We wanted to cover him for a hot second. YouTuber.
sensation.
He's a goalie who apparently records himself while he's playing, while he's practicing.
While he's playing, while he's practicing, while he's playing in juniors, while he's playing.
He's in college now, I thought, right?
He is.
Yeah, so I mean, he made it. I mean, he's on an upward. I mean, he's a legitimate good goalie. He's not some fucking dude playing beer leagues or something.
He plays in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Right now, he's I think a third string college
Oh.
goalie.
And-
However,
yeah.
he came down to Adrian to have a tryout, and he might have made it. Who knows what the circumstances were?
Yeah.
He could have just left. 'Cause
Not the point. Anyway, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have to go through his career.
the bigger point is how YouTube is transforming these players basically and their opportunities, because especially for mainly goalies, because you couldn't do that as a player. You cannot put a GoPro on your helmet to track every move you do during a high school or junior hockey game.
Why couldn't you? The referees do that every game.
I don't think they would just allow it. As I don't know. What do you mean? Referees in high school and junior hockey do not have GoPros on their helmets.
I'm not talking so much junior hockey and high school. I mean, just you see the NHL is adapted to referee cams, so why is it so hard to think that high school and college or even D1 or just any type of junior hockey team, why couldn't they do that?
Well, the difference between those two ideas is the NHL's paying for the camera to be on the
Right.
referee's helmet,
Right.
where these kids don't have someone paying for it. So if, let's say, high school hockey wanted to become bigger and the organization of high school hockey, for whatever conference it's in, wants to do that, they could. But the idea of that happening is slim to none.
I think if you go to that level, high school or junior, it wouldn't be so much an organization. I think it would be a team at a time, and they would agree, hey, we all want to get our team GoPros so that we can. So it would just help their film process.
It
as far as
would.
reviewing film and their own team process. But I think you're right. I don't think it's coming anytime soon
It's not
to
coming.
those lower levels.
Yeah, and maybe one day it will, but
Could be.
I don't think that's the case because not everyone's gonna want to watch it or all of that. But it worked out.
No one's going to
perfect-
watch it besides
Yeah.
them.
But it worked out perfectly for a goalie in this day and age who wants to make a name for himself. He wants to go around and be scouted, and he can put a GoPro on behind his net. And he shows his games. He's talking. You can hear him while he's playing his games. Like every moment of his career, you can follow.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's a great way to use YouTube. And it goes further on. I talk about basically a soccer organization called Hashtag United. It's a guy, his name is Spencer FC, and he's gone way farther than Trav for Oilers did. Trav for Oilers is a goalie basically who started taming himself at a young age, made it to juniors, made junior B hockey in Canada, and got sponsors through Bauer and these other companies.
Because of his videos?
Yes.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
got-
pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's only got like 40,000 subscribers, but he's made enough.
Just for Bauer to take a fucking look at you is pretty amazing.
He gets free equipment. He gets,
Bauer, if you ever want to sponsor this podcast, we'd be fucking honored.
yeah, but he gets people watch him and people want to know what it's like to be the goalie in the net during
Yeah.
junior B
It's an,
hockey game.
it's an interesting look, for
Yes,
sure.
it's never been done in hockey at least. But what I
Not
guess what
live. I don't think live during a game at all.
No.
I'd be surprised if anyone's ever done that.
No, and to your point, the NHL does do it a lot, but that's because they pay for it, and
They
don't do it they do mic'd up during an NHL hockey game, but they don't have a big GoPro on the helmet. Players are unlikely to do it just for the simple fact of where you're going to hide the camera. Where in goalies they put in the back of the net so you can hear them.
Plus, with players, I don't think they're gonna want. I mean, hockey players just in general are somewhat private people.
NHL's not going to want to do that just
No.
for
No,
the sheer fact of
They're gonna-
what is said on the
right,
ice
right.
at all times.
You're gonna hear a
the
fucking
guy who's mic'd up knows he's mic'd up. He's going to censor himself.
yeah. You're gonna hear an NHLer tell another NHLer, "Hey, I'm gonna bang your fucking wife, and then I'm gonna fucking just destroy your fucking face."
Okay, well, maybe. But
Probably.
more than likely at one time during your hockey career, you're going to hear some fucked up
Crazy
Yes.
shit.
But I guess my point with Hashtag United was this guy, so around YouTube basically he didn't just make himself famous. He made his own team, then he made a club. So, and then his club is now in, I believe, like the fifth or fourth like tier of the Premier League over there. Like this guy, and he tapes everything. It's all done off YouTube.
What do you mean he made a club?
He literally
Made
designed
a team, a club? Like
If you think of fantasy soccer or fantasy hockey, he had his buddies. He started YouTubing him and his friends playing beer leagues, basically
Oh,
Sunday football.
oh, okay.
And then after that, he designed a shirt. He got sponsored. His team is now eligible to make the Premier League.
really?
Yeah, and they're legit. He doesn't
is
play
pretty-
anymore.
that is pretty
He's
amazing.
the owner of the team. He's very rich, and he also made it's called the Wembley Cup.
Yeah.
It gets millions
That's
of
like
views.
the lower leagues.
Wembley
thing.
Cup is the most famous soccer stadium in the world, and they play at the Wembley Cup in London. I think it's
Why do you fucking know
In
this
London.
much about soccer? It's unreal.
It's more about YouTube because I follow people who are doing inspirational stuff about YouTube, and this guy has gone from some just small Joe nobody to being possibly in maybe, I don't know, 50 to 60 years. That his team's called Hashtag United, by the way. Look it up on YouTube.
the actual
If you just type in Hashtag United,
the
you'll
actual
find this
club's
thing.
name is Hashtag United.
Yes, he made it around the
Oh,
idea
that
when
sucks.
No, it's right around when
That sucks.
No, it doesn't, because he made it
don't
at
like
the
it.
beginning when Twitter started. Everyone was hashtagging, and dude, I can tell you, right now he's playing with the most famous soccer player. He puts on a tournament every year.
Well, didn't you say he's in the 5th tier?
It's a low tier of soccer, yeah. But I mean, you don't know what goes behind this. He has his own stadium, like it's like me and you owning a goddamn hockey rink.
No, it's amazing.
Based on
that part's
YouTube.
amazing. I just didn't like the name.
And
what he's done is
and then he
amazing.
made his jerseys, and it's in FIFA 19. So that's like our jerseys being in NHL 19 on the Ultimate Team. Like
We
his
could do
shit-
that. We could do that.
It would be cool. as
Might be
fuck.
in our future.
But
I guarantee you, I'm not making a fucking anything about the internet.
I was
though.
just saying this Trav Oilers guy is the first guy in hockey that is even doing anything close to that, which is basically showing his whole career while he grows up, and he's getting a lot of views, and he's getting sponsored, and it also helped him getting recruited because these people have more avenues to see what he's actually done throughout his whole life, rather than just listening to a coach
Yeah.
talking about how good you are. You can
Yeah.
actually view and see everything.
I could see how that allows a little bit more access from scouts and people looking at you to see how you play. But I think the other thing too is that if he actually does get enough followers and he becomes an actual NHL prospect,
Yes.
that would help his chances. Obviously, just because teams will look and see, oh, dude, this guy not only is he a good NHLer.
He might bring tickets.
He's gonna bring, that just the following, just the buzz, all that, and they're NHL clubs are not dumb. Like they know that that's gonna bring them money and shit. So
It's a business at the end of the day,
right,
and anything basically helps
Bring-
with that.
brings
Yeah, I mean that's why a
youth,
lot of
brings everything.
low tier players get drafted to like their home like NHL team just because it might bring more fans for that
Well,
very reason.
Yeah.
Same with the NFL. The NFL does that all the time with their prospects.
So moving on from the YouTuber, Patrick Laine getting 5 goals in one game against St. Louis. First player ever to do this for Winnipeg. 61st ever to do this in the league. Laine is the 3rd NHL player since 1997 to score 5 goals in a game. Oh, I'm sorry. The 3rd NHLer. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
No, correction. He'd be. You said the third?
Yeah, 3rd NHLer to do it since 1997.
No, he'd have been the 4th. It was Rich Nikolai in 1971.
No,
Okay.
that's. What are you talking about?
I think he's joking.
Okay.
He was. Yeah. Franzen did it in 2011, and Marion Gabrick did it in 2007. So that is pretty special for him. That's fucking pretty sweet. He is an ugly fuck, though. I'll give you that. Actually, I think he might not be so ugly if he shaved his beard. I think he might be an alright looking dude. But that beard is terrible.
Lane?
Yeah. You seen it? It's like a neck beard.
He looks like a billy goat.
Yes, he looks like a billy goat, like a Nordic billy goat.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go into that biting situation.
Okay. So Antoine Roussel bit Marc-Edouard Vlasic of San Jose. He got fined $5,000. That's the max fine. Did you guys watch the video at all?
Yeah.
I don't think he bit him personally.
What?
I watched it. It didn't look like he bit him at all.
He opened his mouth and chomped in the guy's hand.
Yeah, he clearly.
I did see the fact that Roussel said after the fact, he bit me, but I personally didn't see him bite him.
You probably just didn't see the right video then.
Were you watching with your eyes closed, or?
Well, it was on CNN, so it might have been the wrong video.
Right. My main thing that I wanted to. So those guys had a
Who bit who?
Antoine Roussel bit Vlasic. So what I was going to say is, I think if the refs, they both wanted to fight essentially, and the refs immediately jumped onto it for whatever reason, and the one guy was trying to.
They immediately jumped onto it, not to cut
Yeah.
you off, but they immediately jumped onto it because hockey is dying in the sport of hockey. And it's sickening.
Yeah.
It's sickening when it comes down to it.
Wait, what does that mean? Hockey's dying.
He means the toughness, the fighting.
I said fighting's dying in the sport of hockey. I didn't say hockey's dying.
You said hockey.
No, I said fighting's dying in the sport of hockey.
Well,
Either way,
it's
the reason why
diminishing.
the reason why the guy bit the other guy is because the refs jumped onto him, and the one ref had the other guy completely wrapped up, and the other guy was still trying to fight.
So his first reaction is to bite someone?
If you're holding my hands down, and the only thing I have is my head, I'm gonna use something.
Well, I'm not gonna go Mike Tyson on your ass.
I don't know what the fuck.
I mean,
you
I
guys
might
were
not either.
watching. You guys are totally off on this.
No.
Yeah.
The ref had him tied like
The guy did not have Antonio, however you say
Antoine
his
Roussel.
name, Antoine
yeah.
Roussel, who was
He's a pest.
he's actually from France, who reminds me of fucking Marchand.
Brad
dirty
Marchand is
rat.
not from France.
I know that, but
But his name
he's
sounds
he's
like
a
it.
Quebec player. He's French Canadian, and he does the same shit. But
Yeah, they're both pests.
this guy's actually from France, which is a little bit weirder. But no, the guy put his hand in front of Antoine's face, basically, and he just bit him. But I don't see Antoine wasn't tied down. Neither player was tied down.
From what I saw, it looked like the guy really, both his hands were pretty much.
There was refs in between them, but neither one of them was tied down. They were both of them still had an arm on each other. It was just that the other dude had his fist going in Antoine's face, like pretty hard,
Yeah.
like almost like eye gouging and like doing some dirty shit. And fucking Antoine reacted by opening up his goddamn mouth and chomping the guy's fucking outer fist.
Either way, I think the better option is just letting him go, and just settle it that way.
I agree. I honestly wish refs would be told to let people go. Like I've seen so many times when, especially recently, where you'll see goalies or people want to fight and send their ice, kind of like the old days, and just want to square up,
Yeah.
make it a fair fight.
Right.
And the refs are the ones that make it unfair because
Right.
they're told to cut it out as much as
Right.
possible.
They want to make it so safe that it's becoming not safe.
Yeah. Like to the point where just let them go.
Refs are going to get punched like they have forever, but it's just more mayhem. Just let the two guys swing at each other probably 5 to 10 times tops, and then they both fall down. Hey, and we all fucking have a good time.
And the best thing about the funniest part about that whole thing is you see refs still to this day, some of them do let them go.
Yeah,
Some of
they
them
do.
let them go.
Right.
And like, you know what, give these guys their space and let them go.
Certain
Wherever they are.
circumstances,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other times they're told to break it up, and I just don't know where that
Like
line is.
immediately. Like
Yeah,
immediately.
and I don't know where that line is.
I have no
Like,
idea how they make that
I'm trying
decision.
to think who thought. I saw two goalies trying to fight on a video the other day, and they just couldn't because the refs just wouldn't let them.
Mm-hmm.
But they both dropped the gloves, like they were on opposite ends of the ice, and all the fans started cheering. Everyone stood up because like this is a goalie fight. It's
Right.
not,
It's a fucking amazing thing to see.
yeah, it's not happening every time.
No.
And
Yeah.
the refs both jumped in and just killed the action. And I don't get why you kill the action in some circumstances, but you let it go in the other. And if it's the idea that the referee shouldn't get punched, if it's like for safety reasons for the ref, like, you know what, only step in if you believe you can stop it type of deal, it's, I don't know, it's too, I don't know, too broad, too gray. You gotta like either let them duke it out or stop every fight.
Yeah.
Make it more black and white. And I hope it's more of the latter. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say refs shouldn't step in once the guy's down on the ice
Obviously.
to protect the guy.
Obviously. You're
They
right.
they gotta referee it, right?
Yeah, no one wants to see
the
that.
funniest part is these referees now got to become the referee of a fight, which they're not trained for.
They might be.
They're probably not extensively trained for like the way a ref would be in like the UFC, which is the hardest thing about this. Is like we expect these refs to not only referee a hockey game, but when a fight does break out, now they have to have the best knowledge and be able to step in when a fight goes too far.
Right. And
And
someone's somewhat defenseless.
That's when it gets a bit blurred.
yeah.
But I also on the other side I don't like how some fights are just allowed to happen and no referee. It's too gray. They need to make it more bright lined.
Yeah. That's all for league news. We will move right into our game reviews.
Yes.
First game, Detroit against Washington.
Yep. The stats were shots were 32-20. Detroit. Face off was 42-58, so we got beat on that. And power play was 0 for 3 for both sides. And then we got out hit 12-23.
Double A was our only goal. First goal was a sick pass from Vanek to Double A.
Yeah.
Andreas Athanasiou.
Yeah. Behind the net. It was that classic. You're behind the
Yeah.
net, you turn around, and you sauce it over the angle of the net, the
Right.
side of the net.
Right.
And you find it was complete awareness on Vanek's point to
Very
know
smart.
where Andre Athanasiou was and to know that would be an open play because it gave him a gap. And it was a good play.
And it's hard for a goalie and a defenseman to read that because obviously you're making it seem like you're going to go around the net, but you pause for a second, feed
Yep.
it back door. It's a pretty sick play.
Those are always like the highlights. We saw those was like Zetterberg passing like backdoor to Pavel. Like
Right.
he would do
Right.
it too. He's acting like he's in a wrap around the net, and then Zetterberg would go on his backhand and pass it to Pavel, and it's more of awareness play of where everyone is on the ice.
Yeah.
When it's a blind pass.
Yeah.
This time Vanek, it wasn't a blind pass, but at the same time he knew
was
where the
a-
guy exactly was. He could have made a blind
was-
pass basically.
It was pretty much a no look.
Basically,
But-
he turned
but he
around
knew he
to
was
look,
there.
but at the same time, you have to know where that guy is to even attempt that pass,
Yep.
to even turn around to make that pass. You have to have some awareness of where this guy is and the angle that he's at.
Yeah. Overall, Double A just looked good to me this entire week. You wrote down he had a great move in the second period to get a breakaway goal. Or I'm
Against
sorry,
Ovechkin.
just a breakaway
Not a goal, but he.
to avoid
So-
a hit from Ovi.
Yeah, so
Which is
it
fucking-
bounced like to the far blue line. Athanasiou speed turns up. He reminds me of Larkin with the speed. His speed it's uncanny, and when you watch it on TV, he can turn it up pretty goddamn quick.
Yeah.
And the puck is bouncing. He nicks it with his backhand. Ovi goes to hit him. Ovi's the last guy of defense. He taps over the stick, makes a great move around Ovi, and then has a breakaway. And he does a quick backhand move. He gets stopped, but it's still a good move. Like it was I would rate that move a solid 7 or 8. Like it's a solid move that you see pros do all the time. It's no hesitation, just like a quick little head fake and a backhand, and it's trying to catch a goalie off guard by being just standing on his feet and being too slow.
To me, it's always best to keep it simple on a move like that if you're moving at that fucking speed.
It is, but like I mean, fucking talk to I'm trying to
Larkin?
think no, because Larkin doesn't really stick handle when he's going that fast. I think I'd rather Nisu has a better stick handling ability than
Larks.
yeah.
He probably
I'm
does.
trying to think it was faster and has a better stick handling ability.
Connor McDavid?
Yeah, Connor McDavid
Yeah.
does it better than the rest. He does the same thing. He's faster
Yeah.
and he stick handles better than both those guys.
Yeah, going 90 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Well, that's what nowadays, if you want to be a superstar, that's essentially what you need to be able to skate 100 miles per hour and also make
Right now, I
amazing
don't think
moves.
that's what you need.
be a s-
I think there's still other ways to do it, but Connor McDavid's specialty is going faster than you and then also making moves at a higher
that's-
pace than you,
That's what the league is.
at a fast pace.
That's what the league is. That's what the future superstars are going to be. Unless we see some drastic change, they're going to be people who can skate at that speed and make amazing moves.
I think some people will be very creative. That Peterson kid from Vancouver, he doesn't skate that fast, but he's still finding avenues.
He's not a superstar yet, but he's tearing it up.
Yeah.
This season. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a superstar, but that type of, if he can become a little bit more creative, he'll find a niche. Creativity matters a lot in hockey, and a lot of people aren't that. It's funny when you see some dude being more like, basically just the overall creativity guy out there. And right now, Peterson, I don't find him to be the most creative guy. It's funny though. Wayne Gretzky says he reminds him of himself.
Yeah.
And I forget who else he said that. Well, he said that about
Probably
Crosby as
Crosby.
well. But just like little, like just instinctive plays that can make you the best, even when you're not the fastest, like Connor McDavid. It might not have you might not be the flashiest guy out there, but you'll get more goals and you do more stuff, and it's just that's how it is.
All right. Well, we'll move on. Tom Wilson had a pretty sick shot on Bernier, and Ovi had a goal in that game,
shot,
of course.
So they won 3-1.
Yep. We'll move on to the Buffalo game. Another loss.
Yep.
I'm just going to touch on it before I forget. I think this week was kind of proof that our team had a decent streak going while we were playing mediocre teams / bad teams. But this last little stint, we played good teams, and we lost 3 games.
I would like to put on record right now that I think these losses actually show a lot more about our team, and I actually think it's a lot of improvement.
Yeah. I would agree.
Okay. I like you already gave up hope on the playoffs and all that for our
big
season.
time. Big time.
I still haven't at all. I think, to be honest, it's given me more hope. Our 7th, I know we lost 3 games, but we were playing very good teams, and at the same time, we're competing, which at the beginning of the season we weren't at all.
I was saying that I was impressed with the way that we've been playing even during these losses, because our guys who are going to be good are playing good.
Yeah.
Throughout these losses,
And it's giving them more confidence.
I'm looking towards the future.
Yeah.
I'm not looking towards this season, because no matter
That's
how
the
good our
future.
young guys are, the vets of this team are garbage. So you're not going to make it through. If by some fucking ungodly
Vegas didn't have any vets.
mm,
Not for that team, at least.
we are not Vegas.
No one is Vegas, because Vegas
Right.
was an anomaly, but same time, and
Yeah.
you can say Vegas had vets. They did have vets in the league.
Yeah, they did.
There's veterans in the league, and we have veterans in the league. But the fact is, were they good veterans? No, they were unprotected veterans. That's why they were shifted off to fucking Vegas.
Yeah, but by now, last year, those vets who were unprotected were playing good. Our vets are still playing bad.
You're right about that, but that's that's maybe the vets. So the bad veterans of last year.
We don't have to go through a full Vegas versus us now argument.
Neither do I.
It's
Yeah.
just I was saying that I'm impressed with the way that we're playing through these losses, because our young guys who are going to be possibly our leaders,
I agree about that.
are playing very good throughout these losses, and they're learning some valuable fucking lessons. Like I'm just impressed with pretty much all of them.
Which is why I think we still have a shot.
It would be a dream.
I don't think it's a dream at all.
Well.
I think our team is actually playing a lot better than I've seen it play in the last 2 or 3 years.
That might be. I would
I would
probably agree with that.
Okay.
I'd probably agree with that.
I find more offense. I find better plays. I find us having the puck more.
I think we're playing better.
Yeah. We're not relying on the 1 or 2 superstars that keep us
Right.
our head floating
The
above
whole
water.
team.
Yeah.
And then when they
it's
get
it's
injured,
that we're
it's
actually
fraudulent.
building a
Yeah.
goddamn boat,
Yeah.
and people are reliable.
So we'll move on to the Detroit versus Buffalo game. Shots were 35-37 to us, Detroit. Face-offs.
No, Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Shots,
you,
Buffalo, Detroit.
you wrote
So-
that backwards.
No, that's our stats. Buffalo, then Detroit. Shots, 35. Buffalo, Detroit, 37.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
35-37 to us.
Oh, okay.
Face-offs, 42-58 again to Detroit. Power plays, they went 2 for 4. We went 0 for 4. Hits, 12-25. Larkin and Mantha are our goal scorers. Real quick, I wanted to talk about the too many men penalty right off the rip in the first period. I just think pros are fucking lazy when it comes to getting off the ice. I don't know what it is, but there's like this in any level of hockey you play. When you're getting off the until you're in the pros, until you get to the bench, you are fucking hustling. You bust your ass to the bench, get the fuck off the ice, because that next guy coming off is going to be involved in the play, and that play might rapidly change. But somehow, when these guys start collecting big checks, that's forgotten about. That costs us a goal, and that happens. That happens probably. I'd be willing to bet 5 to 15 times a season.
I would imagine it's a lot less than 15. I'm going to say close.
Well, it depends on how
5.
bad your coaching is, but for us, it seems to happen too much. That was less than like 2 minutes into the game. We get a too many men on the ice penalty, and they score on that power play.
Well,
That's
we're
insane.
over 20% of the way through the season. Can you think of another instance?
I
that's
can't.
Happen? Okay, yeah.
Well, that's why I said 5 to 15. That's a pretty big range. I'd be willing to bet right now it's going to be 5 by the end of the year. Too many men penalties that end up in a goal.
Yeah.
That's going to be 5.
I could
easily.
see 5. I could see 1 out of every.
Well, let's not
20%
argue
of
about the
games.
range. Let's just argue about the stupidity of how these guys somehow just start collecting big checks, and then all of a sudden they think that they we're talking like 15 feet out.
Well,
they,
the
they
argument
just stop skating.
depends on the idea that you're thinking this happens more often than it does. In juniors, that happens all the time.
Even if it's 5
in
times
juniors,
a season.
it happens.
But a junior coach is ripping you apart.
And you don't play that many games. You don't play 82 games a goddamn year. I'm sure it would happen even more. To be honest, I don't think it's for laziness at all.
On any team that you've ever played on, if you just start dogging it towards the fucking bench, and then another guy hopped on because whatever, and then you got too many men on the ice and you got a penalty, do you think there's a coach that you ever played for in your life that would not rip you the fuck apart for that?
All of them do.
Right. Well, not really, because
No, all of them do. I mean,
They might-
it's a stupid mistake.
if they did, you would see the culture in the NHL be very different. People would not be dogging it 40 feet out, 30 feet out, 15 feet out. If you knew that was something that your coach and your organization expected, it wouldn't be. It's obviously widely accepted.
These guys are grown men. They don't care about getting bitch out by the coach all the time. They get bitch out by the coach all the time,
I think they do care about.
and
getting
they've
bitched.
done it their whole lives. Like at one point in all these fuckers' lives, they've been bitched at more than once by their coach, and it comes to a point where playing 82 game season is a long season. It's a long season, and you know what? Every now and then you make a mistake. And you might go a little too slow to the bench, and a play that you didn't expect would come up the boards and hit off a dude, and now you're on the ice as well, and it's too many men.
It's a long season, but I think that Drew's trying to point out the fact that you're a professional hockey player at this point, and you shouldn't be making these mistakes.
Yeah.
This far in your career.
This isn't a lackadaisical. Look at a line. If they ever pan out enough, look at a line change and look near the benches. It's like a 10-guy scrum because people are so fucking lazy that they're basically just gliding towards the bench. Like it's. I can't imagine being a coach, seeing that, and then seeing a penalty being called on our team, and most people say, oh, it's somewhat the head coach's fault. Dude, I would fucking tear you apart if you did that. I would rip, especially if we got scored on. But either way, I'm gonna rip you apart. I don't care if I'm a grown man. I don't give a shit, dude. This is our careers. This is our lives. Like fuck. That could make or break your season if you need those points that much later. I mean, that's with the parity in this league. It's just something that's widely overlooked, and I just don't understand why.
Well, if you're a coach, you go with that method, and we'll see how many players like you.
It's not about if the players like you. It's the fact that
it is about if the players like you. It is.
Well, it shouldn't be about that. It should be
Well,
about
it is.
winning games and ultimately winning the Stanley
Well,
Cup.
the best way to build camaraderie is when people like you. You
All right,
you
hey,
can't
okay,
build a
Well,
a
no, we're
hostage
not getting off
environment.
topic because it's not it. At the end of the day, this is their profession. This is their job.
Yeah.
And this is, like you said earlier, this
And
is
you're a goddamn coach who came in the league for what, a couple years, who they just met, and they're probably in the 30s and 40s. And
I don't know why we're giving
20.
it such hypotheticals. I'm just saying.
I'm not making it hypothetical at all. A lot of these coaches have only been for their team have only met the players that they're coaching for probably less than 4 to 5 years. And these guys have been playing hockey their whole lives. And for a coach to just come up and bark at them in the manner that you think that you should be able to bark at these fuckers, you're not going to do very well.
I guarantee you they do that about almost every other little thing.
They bark at them a lot, but at the same time, they don't make it.
This is the one thing that you think that they don't bark at them for?
No, they bark at them, but they don't do it in the manner that you think. I think you think they do.
Because I think that is just absolute laziness. I don't think if
Drew, you've been probably called for that play as well.
too many
in your goddamn life.
I don't play in the NHL.
I
don't play in the
give a shit.
AHL. I don't play in the
I don't give a
ECHL.
No,
Like-
no, it's
At the end of the day, the coach has a job
Yeah.
and the players have a job. And
Right.
the player's job is to play hockey
yes.
and to listen to their coach.
And not hurt your team, and that's what they're doing when they get called for that. You're hurting your team because you couldn't skate that last 10 seconds because you think it's just not important. You did your duty or whatever the fuck. You skated for 35 seconds. You can't do that extra 10 feet. I guarantee you can.
I guess I just don't. So you want every person, as soon as they believe they should get off the ice, to just start skating full steam ahead to the bench? Because that's also a bad idea.
Literally,
It really is.
you're going into player safety now.
No, it has none of the play. I'm not talking about them running on the goddamn boards or anything like that. I'm talking about them making the idea of like, okay, the play's done. I'm gonna skate to the bench and not watching the play anymore by them just getting full board to the fucking bench, so they don't get a goddamn fucking too many men call. So they're not focused on play. So the play switches up real goddamn quick. How many D have you seen go to the bench and turn around to get back on the play because they couldn't make it to the bench? A lot. It happens all the time. So if you're talking about these guys going full board,
Yeah.
fucking skate to the bench as hard as they could, then I honestly, I just don't. There's no right play here.
Well, I guarantee you the play isn't. Quit
The play
skating.
is
The skate-
always circumstantial. That's
Well,
all
the-
it is.
the play
it's
is-
based on the play,
Well,
and you
yeah.
should know when to get off the goddamn ice and when you shouldn't. That could be a good, legitimate argument. But if you're going to argue
But
to
if
your
you- but
players
if you
that
know-
you're not skating fast enough to the goddamn bench,
Yeah.
that's a stupid fucking argument.
It's not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
absolutely
It's not a stupid argument
It is.
because
It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
It's really not.
If
though.
you made the decision that you know that you're safe to get off the ice, get the fuck off the ice. If you turn around, there's far fewer circumstances, maybe odd.
I bet there's more circumstances where there's people skating to the bench and turn around than there's probably too many men called.
No.
I guarantee. If we go through, I guarantee if we were to tape everything in the NHL right now, I bet there's more Ds who skate to the bench and then turn around and go back into the goddamn play because they realize they need to be back in the play before a too many men calls.
But I also guarantee you that there's more times people just start gliding 30 to 50 or 15 feet out and
A
don't.
lot of
even-
people do that all the time.
Well,
That happens all the goddamn time.
Yeah, but I guarantee you there's more times people start doing that and don't even look back at the play. Compared to people that look back at the play and then decide, oh shit, now it's down to a 2-on-1. That's fine. But there's more times where people are just I'm done. I did my share. I'm off the ice. Even if they start skating barely outside center ice, so like I'm done here. And they're not looking
I
back,
just
looking at
believe
an odd man
It's all
rush.
circumstantial. What I would do as a coach is
Say
I wouldn't
hustle?
yell. No, I would look at the guy I'm playing, and if I thought you were fucking wrong, then I'd yell at you.
Well, obviously anyone would do that.
Okay.
If someone comes back out,
But then-
if
so
someone
what-
turns around because they had the awareness to look over their back and saw odd man rush developing, I'm not saying just bury your head to the ice and start skating forward. No numbnuts is ever going to say that. I'm saying the lazy fucks who start just not skating 15 feet out from the bench, those dickbags should get yelled at.
Yeah, they should.
So I don't know why you took it to a whole nother level that was irrelevant.
I think
No,
I just think ultimately that I agree with Drew here because no player, defenseman or offenseman, should be dogging it to the bench because the coach
That's why I took it to the-
already knows.
You're saying dogging it. What the fuck does that mean? Dogging
Not
it.
skating it.
what
Not
do you-
skating. Not
So you
moving
want
your
them to
feet.
bullet?
They literally.
Yeah, they need to because the
There's a
coach already
difference.
knows. The coach already knows and has told the
It's
players who's
not-
coming out next.
That's not ever gonna be the goddamn case.
Yeah, it is.
This isn't Mighty Ducks where the guy fucking says line change and everyone bullets to the goddamn
No,
bench.
that's not what he
and
said.
there's a quick
That's
line
not what he
change.
said.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
You have
that-
your guy. You know who you're taking. We all know that.
and the coach.
You know who you're replacing?
When you're on the bench, you already
I wasn't talking
can
about
hear.
full line changes. I was talking about the
No,
idea of
no one's saying
bulleting to the bench.
I'm just saying that as a player, you're on the bench, and when you get on the ice, you should already know who's coming off or who's replacing you on the ice.
That's true. Yeah.
And we're also not
I
talking.
think every professional team already knows that.
And we're also
by
not
far.
talking about during plays where
They
like
know who they're replacing.
you yourself dump the puck in ice or you throw it deep. I'm not talking about those plays. I'm talking about the plays that are even somewhat remotely close to the neutral zone. You can watch 1, 2, 3 players get off the ice and just stop skating. That's
You're right.
the plays that are dangerous and retarded. But let's move on. We've done that
yeah,
for like 10
I would
minutes.
Say, it's about
10?
What's that? 10,
20.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. God.
Way too long.
I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Sabres' actual stuff that happened.
Larkin had a snipe from outside the circles near the outside the hash marks.
Larkin also had a breakaway in a 4-on-4 during that goddamn game, which I predicted about 2 or 3 episodes.
Yep.
So he does a goddamn another head fake and a little kick flip that he does. He
Goalies are
goes. He
gonna
does. He
catch
does
on.
a backhand forehand move. He does a little head fake and he kicks his foot up, and it got stopped this time because his head fake isn't that good. He doesn't roll his wrist, so no one believes he's shooting. He did it twice and it worked. And I said this. I said this last
so
time.
he's 2 for 3.
Yes, and I said this the last time it worked. I said if he keeps doing this goddamn move, it's not going to work anymore because for one, it's predictable. He all he does is the standard the fucking NHL move I do online. It's a fucking pushing the R3 stick, little backhand forehand move. That's literally all he does, and it's he doesn't even do it well. He doesn't even do a head fake well. And he also doesn't roll his goddamn wrist.
He's 2 for 3 so far.
Yeah, the
So that's
first two
pretty
because it's the first 2 goals. His break was that he scored in a while.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if say over the next,
Mark my words again. If he fucking keeps doing this goddamn head fake, if he does a forehand backhand move, lifts his leg, and a head fake, it's not going to keep going in because his head fake sucks. He also doesn't roll his wrist. He doesn't make it look like he's actually shooting.
Right.
So why would any goalie bite on that play? The only goalies that bit on that play is the people who didn't know what he was actually going to do because that could have been a shot. And they don't know what every player's shot looks like because some of them are unorthodox. But he has never shot during that time. He's always done the same goddamn move. He's done it time and time again. And I think goalies, if they're smart, are going to fucking realize that. They're not going to bite the first fucking time. You're not shooting from the top of the circle. We already know you're going to make that move, and we're just going to slide to your forehand, and you're fucked.
Well,
That's what I would do as a goalie. I would never bite on that guy and play with Larkin because he's done it 3 times in a row, and it's kind of a joke because that fake isn't even that good. I don't know how the goalies even bit the first 2 times.
Well, I was just
No
gonna
one
say
in
we'll
hockey
see.
doesn't even
We'll
roll his
see.
wrist. He doesn't even make it look like he's shooting.
We'll see if he makes that.
Adjustment. Hopefully he does. Hopefully.
Well, hold on. Let's see if he fucking say he's done. Okay, so he's done it 3 times now. If
Yes,
he does it
in
7
a
more
row.
times, if his percentage is over 50%, it's a pretty good move. Well, let's move on.
It won't be. I can tell that.
It was
Just
a
like
good
I said,
late.
Andre Athanasiou will get more points. And he will. And he's already-
Well, I don't know. Look, we can't just. We're doing all of our overall topics during the game reviews.
I'm fine with that. I'm reminding the people what I fucking say. So they fucking listen. I'm like, oh, Jesse actually knows what he's talking about. And Drew fucking knows nothing.
Let's move on here to our game versus the Blue Jackets.
Okay.
We had shots on goal was 32 and 32, so that was even. And hits 16 to 23, we out hit them, Detroit. Face-offs, we were 53 to 46, Columbus out faced off us. That's not right, but Columbus took more face-offs than us, 53 to 46.
Not more. They just had a better percentage.
Correct. Both teams' power plays were 1 for 1. Detroit had 18 giveaways to Columbus's 8. And our goals came from Mantha with 2. Nyquist had 1. Cholowski had one, and Mike Green had one.
Cholowski, because that's how I say
Yeah.
it called.
Sorry, I'm not Polish.
And just remember,
Cholowski. That's so hard to fucking.
Cholowski.
just imagine.
We can just
a-
call him Cholo because that's what they
If you
call
put
him.
an A in there instead of the O,
I know it would help us all.
yeah.
Well, we can't change his name, so.
You
But
can
the
change how
first-
you pronounce it, fucker.
Right, true.
The first Columbus goal was fucking unreal by Panarin and Dubois.
Panarin's sick.
Dude,
I mean,
He's gonna be
anything. I mean,
free agent.
you're always going to get a sick play from the bread man.
Dude, he's nasty.
Panarin.
He is very nasty. I had him on my fantasy last year, and
He's-
he did a lot of good things.
He's
Sexual?
going to be a free agent coming up, and
He's not resigning there, and neither is Bobrovsky.
I would just. We won't ever get him. But
I would love to see Panarin re-sign with Columbus.
I would love
not
to see
going to.
Panarin.
Where is he going to go? Who's
Uh,
going
he's
to
not-
take him?
He
I
wants
don't.
to
I don't think he's resigning either.
He's not resigning. He's
Yeah.
already he has no interest in staying in Columbus.
I
He's-
don't
he's-
know
I
if
understand
that's
that.
true.
That's fine.
I don't know if that's true, but
He's
I, think,
all
I,
but
don't,
said that himself.
I don't think he's resigning. I think his actions have said that he's not resigning.
So where do you think his interest
know.
lies?
I think if I
Is-
had to bet, a big city that's going to be competitive.
In hockey, and he wants
Yeah.
like a hockey, it probably it won't be
Not
Detroit.
Columbus. Not
Could you see him going to a Canadian team,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
such as?
Anyone who has room- well, they
No,
won't- they won't have
Toronto.
room to
Toronto's
sign.
already.
They
got
won't have room to sign
a
him.
great team. They don't need anybody else.
A team like-
Panarin's nasty.
I
He would be
understand
the-
that he's nasty.
He would
but
be probably the top player.
They won't
negative.
Have, they won't have.
Toronto has a lot of top players.
Austin
They don't need.
I don't think.
Panarin.
I think Panarin's better than Austin Matthews and Jonathan Tavares.
Just stop talking because he is not better than Austin Matthews.
That's
Yes,
a
he
hard.
is.
That's a
No, he's
hard-
not. You have Mitch Marner. You have Austin Matthews. That team is stacked.
Yeah, they won't have room to sign him.
They might not have room, but I would.
We're
Panarin's, I think, a better player than.
We're
all
fucking
those
around
guys.
in
Really do.
dream world here because they don't have room to sign him. But
Any Canadian team, basically, he'd go to, or any team that's in competition to Pittsburgh, any Chicago again, he'd go back to them.
Yeah, but
And
that,
any
you
team
also,
that has a Stanley Cup running.
and it's
okay, but you have to
also-
think about the cap space then.
Well, yeah.
So, are these teams that you're predicting that could pick him up have the cap space though? Because
Any
Pittsburgh's a
Canadian-
pretty
other
stacked team.
Winnipeg does for sure. He'd go to any Canadian team where they're going to be able to support a player like him because he's a very talented.
The only
guy.
Canadian team I could ever see him going to right now, if he were to get picked up, would be Calgary.
What? That'd be the least.
How?
They're just not that good.
That's why I'm saying they would have the best bet in
Because
picking him up.
you also think they have the most cap space.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not gonna. No, he won't go to Calgary. He'll go to either Winnipeg, Toronto, Montreal. Even though Montreal isn't a Stanley Cup contender, but Montreal loves hockey, so that's at least an aspect for him. Or any big contending team at the time.
I
That's
think
who
I
he'd
think
go
it,
to.
I think it'll be a team that is on the fringe of being a cup contender, but also a sweet city.
Could
He
you
wants to
see
get
him?
out, he wants to get out of Columbus
Maybe
for
Nashville.
that reason.
I could see-
Nashville's a
if
perfect.
they have
I couldn't
room for
see.
Yeah,
I could
yeah, I don't
not
know- I
see
don't know what-
Panarin fitting into Nashville. I could definitely see him going to Boston. That
Who
would-
would
Literally,
have
we don't-
thought he would have stepped into Columbus Blue Jackets, but he did. And
Well, he got traded.
well, yeah, I know, but still,
I don't think he. I highly doubt he left. He
He did.
probably was
He
not
did.
happy with that trade.
no,
Who
not
would
at
be?
all.
Who would be?
But
I wouldn't be.
you
If I was
couldn't-
him
you couldn't
playing
compete with-
with
I think Nashville is a French team, like what you're talking about, like the type of team that
no, they're-
makes it in
they're
the
heavyweight.
playoffs.
They're heavyweight.
Yeah, but they haven't won,
No,
and I don't know what their cap space is. I mean, Subban's on the team, but I don't. To be honest, they don't have that many big names, but they've been up there like the last 2 to 3
their
years.
defensive core is fucking real.
Yeah, I know.
That's
But-
their thing. But not a lot of people will recognize a lot of their defensive core is amazingly solid. That's the thing. If you have to be a pretty in-depth fan to be able to follow how good their defense is. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking sick.
I agree.
And a lot of their people aren't like PK Subban's, like
Could you
big names.
Which
Could-
is why it might be an opening. 'Cause
Could-
I don't know what the cap space is like.
I'm not.
Could you see him going to Colorado?
Yes.
That would be
I
pretty
could see
interesting. I feel like.
I could see it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I mean, it's pretty much up to him. So it's whatever he wants to fucking do.
Yeah, I don't think Columbus Blue Jackets will be his destination.
No.
I wish
Or
Detroit would
Bobrovsky.
pick him up, but it's not going to happen.
No.
And
That would be sick, though, because...
I could see Boston. I could see Colorado. Like any big USA city,
yes.
I could see
Yes,
him go, like,
exactly.
any original six, basically.
Yes.
Original six or Canadian team. I don't see him going outside of that, other than maybe Nashville, and that's about it. I don't see him going to Anaheim. I don't see him going to the Panthers or
Maybe Tampa if they
yeah,
ever have
Tampa
the room.
Bay maybe,
If they ever have
but
the room.
I find that to be unlikely as well.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't feel comfortable with watching him at any of those franchises though.
He's already at Columbus, and that's
Well, he's not asking you.
No, he's not. But if he
And
did,
Columbus is
I would
pretty
tell
good.
him to go to Detroit
That would be pretty fucking
or
sweet.
Philadelphia.
Oh, Jesus
Don't
Christ.
sleep on the Flyers, boys.
Okay. All right.
We want to talk about the rest of the game. Well, Mantha snipes 2 goals, obviously.
Yep. I did
Green
want
had a good goal. Chalowski had a good goal.
Yeah. Chalowski continues to
Chalowski.
impress. I love that fucking kid.
Yeah.
He looks good. 85 to 90% of the game that I'm watching him play, I'm very impressed with the way he plays.
He has confidence, more than you think he
Confidence,
would.
Yeah. And he just the way he controls the puck. He's just fucking good.
Yeah.
He's very good. And it's impressive. I did want to say that Mantha with his little spurt here. I'm happy.
I know.
Yeah, he's got to just keep that shoot first mentality, and he's gonna get goals. It's that simple. He's got a fucking rocket. I love Mantha. He's my favorite player on the team right now.
Mine is Andre Athanasiou, obviously.
Kevin, who's your favorite player right now on the Wings?
On the Wings,
See, the fact that you have to say on the Wings means that you're not a Red Wings fan. No matter how bad the team is, you have a
my
favorite
God.
player. Anyways,
I have a favorite player. It's
so who is it?
probably it'd be A squared.
Okay, I respect that. I like Double A too. I'm not an anti-Double A guy.
No, I mean
I
he's
just wish-
he's leading the team in goals with 10, and we've seen him score tonight against St. Louis.
I let them be.
So make it 11.
Because everyone liked Larkin, but
I just think Larkin's overrated.
same. But to be honest, Larkin's been playing good.
Yeah.
This is the first year I've actually grown to like Larkin a lot more.
He is playing very well. He's
Yeah.
he's doing everything that you
So I'm
want
not
to see.
trying to talk bad about Larkin at all. I've always just thought Andre Athanasiou had a higher ceiling, and hopefully he proves that so I can be right. But I don't
think
really
he's
care
more
who
of-
has.
I think he's
to
more
be
of a
honest,
risk.
Larkin's playing well, so
He is.
I'm glad about
is
that.
Larkin the assistant right now?
Yes.
Yeah, and
should he be the assistant? Do we think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who the fuck else?
That's why I asked.
No, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying
For me, it would
who
be
the fuck else on
double
our
A.
team?
Ted Lindsay.
No.
Let's not get into
For
that.
me, it would be Double A, but at the same time, I understand why it's not.
No.
I completely understand.
I mean,
why
I
it's
get
not.
I get it in the fact that Larkin's, a Michigan bred, Michigan born. He's all around Michigan, but do we really think he's that good to be the assistant
Yeah.
of the Red Wings?
Abdicator was.
It's pretty
So,
good. Yeah.
Riddle me
yeah.
that. Riddle me that.
You'd love to advocate yourself.
Oh my god.
Just in the past, you did. I never was.
Like literally the playoff run that he started, I was like, "Oh, this kid could be something."
Same with the Johan Franzen bullshit too.
Oh my, no.
Yeah.
Franzen's a monster.
Franzen's
Franzen's
yeah,
a
he's a
mule.
monster in a fucking.
Franzen's a fucking monster. He was streaky as shit, but he was a beast.
He was.
He helped carried our team throughout
One playoff.
Pavel and
One
Zetterberg.
playoff.
No, throughout the seasons that Pav and Zetterberg were getting injured all the time. Franzen was the only other person that we could rely on.
No.
The only
He was
monster
never
that
reliable.
the only monster
Never
that lied
reliable.
within Franzen was his mouth.
Franzen was
He had
never
a
reliable.
real jacked up face.
Ever.
All right.
Playoffs
I think
did well.
I think we're done with
At
our
least
game
one.
reviews.
Yes.
Let's move to our one teas, our one timers. Bob Provert is getting a movie called Tough Guy. Thoughts?
Love it.
He was a tough guy.
Yeah, I'd say. Anything more? I mean, you guys see the trailer?
I
Oh
did
yeah,
not.
I mean, I've seen that he did a lot of coke and he got into a lot of drugs and a lot of bad things. I mean, I don't like to see that
That doesn't surprise
in
me.
in any
Is that news?
in any person.
No, not really. For most people who
No one.
might be listening who don't know about hockey, like back then, or probably even now, to be honest, a lot of the fighters probably do coke still.
I don't
probably
know.
a
I don't
lot-
know.
Oh, you mean now?
To be honest, I wouldn't
Well,
be
let's
shocked.
keep
I
it-
wouldn't be shocked at all if
Let's keep it Bob Probert talk, not current day
Okay.
NHL drug
well,
usage.
well, a lot of people did coke back then, so you'd be numb.
Yeah, but
Right.
coke's
During
not
a
as
fight.
big. Not coke's not as big as it was in the
Like
80s. So I mean,
McCarty would do coke in the goddamn bathroom before a game for
I'm
the
sure
sheer
Pro- I'm
fact
sure-
of fighting.
I'm sure Proby did the same thing. They all,
Yes, yes.
and it wasn't just fighters back then. They were a lot of guys were doing coke. Coke was prevalent back then.
More so than now, obviously. But
yeah, but you're trying to make the argument that coke's still like relevant in today's game.
Let's kill the current drug usage talk.
why?
Well, that's what Jesse wants to talk
Because
about.
I want to focus on Bob Probert getting a goddamn movie. That's fucking huge.
It is huge.
amazing.
but-
It's huge, but it's the idea that
Do you know any other Red Wing ever who's gotten his own fucking movie? No.
No,
probably Gordie Howe, but I don't know the movie.
but there was a
No.
documentary made about who was that guy from Montreal? He used to fight.
Maurice Richard.
No,
He has a movie.
No, there was another guy that got addicted to pills.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I know.
It's, something.
not
Ryan. or Clark?
no. Nails. Chris Nylon.
Yes,
Yeah, Nails.
played for
He was
Montreal?
most prevalent with.
pills.
Wait, was he Boston?
Yeah,
or-
he's a Boston guy,
He
but
went
he
homeless.
did. I think he ended up playing.
He went homeless.
with Montreal. Yeah, he went through rougher. I don't want to say rougher times, but he had really really rough times.
I watched the
Really,
documentary.
really
Well,
rough
it's the idea
times.
of it's the same idea with the gladiator. During those times, you felt like the king. Everyone's watching you. You're the gladiator on ice, and now you don't get any attention. And you've been doing this your whole life. That's
Right.
your only expertise is fighting
Right.
on the ice. And you did drugs to
Deal with it,
accomplish
cope with
it.
it.
Yeah. And then everyone just basically tossed you aside. You're still doing the goddamn drugs, and you become homeless.
Yeah.
And there was a point where he's sleeping in a park.
Yeah.
And this guy's like an old ex NHL player,
Right.
and you're wondering what the fuck.
He's a
is up with
legend.
him.
He's
Yeah.
a legend too in those
Yeah.
areas that he was
Yeah.
living in. He was a everyone knew him.
Yeah,
He's a fucking legend.
yeah.
It'd be like for us, I guess, comparatively.
It's like Darren McCarty,
yeah, it'd be
basically.
like McCarty.
Which
McCarty.
Darren McCarty also kind of went through that same
Yeah. Yeah.
spurt,
Well,
but
his-
not in the same manner that this guy went. Like he didn't go completely.
Not
bankrupt.
that epic.
I mean, everyone knows McCarty had some financial issues. To be honest, he's kind of had the same identical problems as the guy before. It's basically an identity crisis. What are you going to be after a fighter?
well, yeah.
Right? Like he's gone. He was on Pawn Stars or whatever that goddamn show was.
Yeah. Well, the thing was with him is obviously the partying, everything caught up to him, but he started a band. He's got his
It's an
own story.
identity crisis, dude.
No, I'm just really excited about it because
It highlights a Red Wings player
Yeah.
that we all grew up to know and love.
yeah, and I guess I'm somewhat worried about it because just from the trailer, it seemed like they were doing a whole lot of concussion talk, and I hope that it's not. I know that his concussions and his drug usage and the bad shit is part of his legacy, but I hope that it's more
I hope they
good
don't.
than bad.
Yeah, I hope
You
they
know
don't
what I mean?
highlight his
don't-
downfalls more so than his NHL career.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
And then also, I'm afraid that they're going to try to politicize it to try to say, hey, this was an epic NHL enforcer slash
Oh, they definitely
slash
are.
fighter.
But-
this is why we don't want fighting. This is why we want to take the violence out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, don't completely politicize a movie about a guy's fucking legacy
Based on
film-
his drug use.
based on his pitfalls.
Right.
They might
Definitely
be using
don't exclude it. Don't exclude it. Don't ignore that. I'm not saying that. But
don't make it
make it
out-
like a 70-30 split where you show
What
the
does that
down.
mean?
It
well, you
means
know how
Back to the
don't.
buzzword 70-30 split. What the fuck does that mean?
70-30 percentage, like 70% just mostly the good times and the good stuff. 30% this is
Why?
Who he
why
really
does that
was
have
as
to
a
be
person.
Why does that have to be a 70-30 split?
because if they make it all depressing, it's just gonna fuel the already building movement of taking fighting out of the game. Because,
Why not just try to make it the truth? Whatever it is, it is. And fucking,
well, the truth is hard to do with him not here.
But the truth is, he's in a goddamn movie, and hopefully they do maybe a documentary about his life. That's what I would want
not-
to see.
no, I mean, it's-
you're
it's
you're
a-
asking for a 70-30 split in what they're gonna.
It's not a
do with
documentary;
it.
it's a movie.
Okay, well,
Well, they're gonna base it off of truth, that like any movie ever. So they're gonna write a little bit of shit in there.
you're right.
What I'm
They're gonna-
saying is,
they're
don't
gonna
write in
exaggerate.
the little shit that you add in there only bad stuff about conkies, about concussions and drugs and shit like that. Don't make it a depressing movie about Bob Probert's fucking downfall. Make it about how amazing he was.
I think we should make it somewhat about the glory of who he was as a person, like his character to become who he was.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
No. Are you talking-
That should be the overwhelming theme.
Right. Right.
But if they talk about CTs and basically brain concussions and the aftermath of it to an extreme circumstance, I don't blame him for it.
I think,
We're essentially saying the exact same thing, but you're trying to turn it like we're disagreeing.
yeah, I think what Drew's trying to say is don't
We
take
just
away,
said the same
don't
thing.
take away from his on ice career just to talk about his off ice career.
Yeah.
I agree,
don't-
but you can't. You're talking about 70-30. Like, what does that
Like
mean?
70% of his career was fighting in the NHL. Don't highlight, don't make the movie so much about his off ice career doing
him
drugs
being arrested and all that shit.
and all the negativity
Yeah.
that surrounds it. Because then you're gonna have people that don't know a damn thing about hockey or the Red Wings look at this movie and be like, "Oh, this is what hockey's about." Then
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
about that.
And you're reaching out to people who have like you just said, have no fucking clue about what they're talking about, saying I'm so glad they're taking fight out of hockey because that's what happened to that guy.
I get that idea, but you just have to make it as. I just hope the movie is as accurate as it can be. So, even though this guy might be glorified as a professional athlete and a fighter, if he does have some stuff that links up to fighting in a very negative way, I also don't think they should
Veer away from it.
Yeah.
I feel like you're looking at the more negative aspect of it.
I'm
I think-
looking.
I think
I'm
we're-
just trying to find the
we're all
truth.
s- we're all
Whatever it
saying the
is.
same- we're literally all saying
whatever
the
it
same thing.
is. But you. The only thing I'm not saying is not make it 70-30. I'm not trying to. You're the
Well,
one
that was a rough
politicizing
that was a
it.
rough estimate.
Well, the very fact that you even said it is the point of
Because they're going to
politicize.
I'm afraid that they are going.
I
to
can
politicize
see.
it.
I can
The
already
fact
see.
is they are going to politicize it. And they're going to do exactly the opposite of what you just said. They're going to make it 70-30 and the opposite. That's
Oh, yeah,
the truth
for-
of it. The
there's no
truth
doubt
is
about it.
They're
They're
going to
gonna-
make it more about the
His
repercussions
drug
of,
abuse.
yeah, and what the aftermath is. Because why else do
That
they
is
care
literally-
about Bob Probert at this time and day? It's because of the idea of what happens to these players after they got off the ice and they used to be gladiators. And
Yeah.
that's a hot topic nowadays. So that's why that movie's going to be more the opposite of what you want. It's not going to be what you want. It's going to be the opposite.
I'm acknowledging that. That's why
Yeah.
I brought it up.
I get
I
that,
think
but-
what Drew's trying to say is that
I hope the
they
opposite
don't.
happens.
Yeah, they
I
don't
I
need to
think
do
it will,
that.
But I also
I don't think it will
they
either.
I don't think they need or don't. I just hope they would ever actually be. I don't know.
Like
Honest
cognizant
about it.
of the fact that he was an actual NHL player.
Who
He
put up
wasn't,
serious points.
and he
besides
wasn't
his
just there
pens.
for fighting. I mean, he,
Cognizant of the fact that this guy fucking did something miraculous, loved what he did, and would probably do it again, even
Yeah.
after they show this goddamn
Yeah.
movie
I guarantee.
of everything that's gonna be bad about him. Any person who loves hockey and loves Bob Probert or just loves the idea of it,
just
he-
loves hockey in general.
he would do it again. He would
Yeah.
do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He would do it again because he sacrificed his career for the fans to get that glory, to get that love from the fans, to get the just to be special. because not everyone is in every goddamn day, and you'll do whatever it takes to become someone special. So that's what I would hope they would do something like that, because the fact is people will sacrifice their goddamn body and life and everything to become something important. And Bob Probert, whatever you say about him, whatever you want to make the movie about, whatever you want to say, what he did was wrong and his actions had a negative effect on his body and in his life and the whole, he's still special. More special than the average person.
Yeah.
So what you
You'll remember his goddamn name. People love him still.
Yeah.
He's different than other people.
Yeah.
And that's
what you're saying is you want him to get the recognition that he's,
I want people to understand why people do stuff, and I think people don't take into account that being famous or being someone that I think a lot of people act like they don't want, but they do. Everyone does. Everyone wants to be the
famous.
guy. And Bob Probert was the guy. And if you knew, it's the same idea when I talk about with people who criticize Tiger Woods for, like, say, cheating on his wife, for all those stuff. You just don't know what it's like to be in that situation. You don't know that feeling. Bob Probert had a feeling that none of us will ever experience. None of us will ever know what it's like to be Darren McCarty or Bob Probert or be the king of the city and to walk around like you're the badass of everything in the world.
I kind of disagree with you on that aspect, because every human being that's born onto this earth has a chance to do something such.
They have a chance.
Yeah,
but
like
they don't know
that Bob Probert did.
They don't know that feeling.
Right. I'm not saying they know that feeling. I'm just saying that everybody in this world has a chance to be something they want to be.
I didn't say they didn't.
No, I understand that. I'm just
people
saying.
Make sacrifices to get that feeling, and some of the sacrifices might be bad. Some of those sacrifices might have a long-term effect that are more negative than positive long-term. So you can say long-term wise, this isn't a smart move, because long-term wise, you'll have a CTE or whatever it is. But that feeling of being the king can't really be quantified.
Right.
And so I hope the movie's like that, but it won't be. The movie's going to be the opposite of what Drew just said. It's going to be politicized and the opposite.
Oh, yeah, for
it's
sure.
Gonna be,
And
you shouldn't do this because
and that's
X,
embarrassing.
Y, and Z.
That's embarrassing as a Red Wings fan and just as a hockey fan.
It's embarrassing for a human
use-
society that we don't want people to go out. You know what? Make human sacrifices. Fucking do something that might deter you in the long run to make you great in the short term, because greatness doesn't come to everyone.
No, it doesn't.
And that's what you should strive for, is greatness, even if it's short term.
It-
Everyone,
it-
it's not long term greatness, but you can still say I was great and you weren't ever. And
and
Bob
again-
Hogan always had that argument against me. Bob Hogan comes on this goddamn podcast and says that any one of us fuckers, and we can say, well, why would I want to fight and have, I don't know, end up like you? Bob Probert had a life probably 10 times better than any of us.
Yeah. And just in the podcast, just like you said, if you asked him, none of us have met him, guarantee you all of us would be willing to bet he would say, I'd fucking do it again.
Yeah.
Almost the exact way. He might take a little bit of the drug usage down, but whatever. He would do it again.
The guy who ended up homeless, that guy from Boston, would
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would.
Yeah.
He would, because that feeling doesn't come to everyone.
No.
You don't get that experience. And I'm not trying to, I don't know,
hey,
exacerbate, but yeah. All right.
All
What's
right, well,
the last question?
We'll cut it.
We'll cut it?
Yeah, it's getting late, boys.
Yep.
You can find
Sorry
us
for the long episode, but this was a good one.
a lot of discussion. You can find us at Pine Podcast on Twitter. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook now. We have an email. Is that what you said, Craven? Yeah. Is it just right in the Pine?
I don't think they need to find us on our email.
Oh, well, you never know. But, yeah, reach out and find us on those social fucking media sites. And we might possibly look into changing the podcast name. So if you're listening and you have any ideas for the podcast that isn't just like two fucking idiots or three idiots now, that would be good. So we'll cut it right now. And have a good fucking week. Bye-bye.